I'm okay with 300. Okay, for part-timernya, we offering you 600. Aku macam, wow! Tapi life happens. My late sister was having, she had cancer. So, maybe one day, I think you'll become top management. Maybe a minister. Aku, ridiculous aku. I don't see myself becoming a minister.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome back to Cinemarch Podcast. Ganjil rasanya aku di sini ni. Tapi hari ni ada special request lah. Pasal orangnya ni pun kirakan quite special for me. Pasal di Brunei aku jarang ni jumpa orang yang macam ni sebenarnya. Alhamdulillah, I'm lucky enough to met him, know him, and kira being close lah in a way. Macam pernah belajar sama-sama apa itu inilah. Tapi sebelum aku kan reveal siapa orangnya, aku kan shout out dulu arah Mirshas Kitchen. Ya, hari ini belanja kami ni banyak ni usulnya. Tapi hari ini ia bawakan kami cheesecake, tuna quiche sama baked sushi. So baked sushinya ni ia comes with this lah every time you guys order. So siapa yang berminat, numbernya kami akan sediakan. IG-nya kamu boleh cek Mirshas Kitchen. Ya, masa ni masih lagi home base lah di Tunku. So, aku kan introduce dulu one of my good friend lah, Mr. Dan Basrah. Ia ni, kalau orang dalam real estate, kalau dia kenal, mustahil. Pasal ia punya presence tu, mustahil kita ni ter-ignore lah. So, Mr. Dan Basrah ni aku first kenal ia di Beijing. Hui.
Yep.
Jauh-jauh Brunei. Brunei semua. Basar-basar Brunei ni di Beijing kita ni berjumpa. Ada kelas. Yang paling ku impress arah ia ni, ia pernah kerja government, swasta, oil and gas, and today ia run ia punya own business. So, tanpa membuang masa, jom kita ni welcome ya Mr. Dan Basrah. Welcome to Cinemarch Podcast.
Oh, thank you. Ni hao. Visible na sudah muka aku. Nampak kena?
Visible sudah. Dia kena censored.
Dia lagi surprise. Okay.
So, okay. Sebelum kita ni start.
Yes.
Maybe you want to a bit intro on yourself. Siapa Dan Basrah ni? Just in case lah.
Yeah.
Sebelum kenal.
Sure. Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum. Hi everyone.
Waalaikumsalam.
If kita pernah lihat aku di social media, I think most of the time you will notice me on my business account, which is Dan Basrah Real Estate, which I currently lead the agency lah. We selling residential properties and commercial juga. So Mafis, I've been in the business not too long, baru juga 4 tahun. So thank you for inviting.
No problem. Thank you for your time juga.
I think to be honest, normally kalau ada invitation macam ni, aku normally politely decline. Simply because of the reason I feel like I haven't made it yet. Okay, because I'm still in progress. I'm not somebody yang already up there. So that's how I see myself lah. But because you're my good friend, we have so many good memories during the Beijing seminar. Why not? Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you again.
Thank you so much.
So yeah, here I'm just sharing my journey. I'm not saying I'm successful sudah, but it's a journey. If you find ada anything you can relate or value, please by all means.
InsyaAllah. Memang banyak manfaat ni insyaAllah daripada ni. Sebelum kita ni pergi jauh lah, do you remember your first taste of business, macam masa Damit ke apakah?
Yeah, business ni, I think it comes naturally. Macam my first experience selling lah basically masa sekolah agama. I think darjah berapa aku ni ingat lah. Back then aku notice my usu ni dia selalu beli magazines macam Smash Hits, Bobs. I think people from early 90s atau late 80s tahu lah. Ada New Kids on the Block, Jeremy Jordan and all that lah. So after dia baca, dia simpan siring, and then that's it. And then I notice macam a lot of orang minat kan these celebrities. So aku why not aku gunting one of the posters, and then aku bagi manila cut di belakang, then aku lapik lah, then aku jual, So aku just try out the idea ni, aku why not kan? So aku cubalah jual di sekolah agama. Alhamdulillah. Ada sambutan. Ada bukan sebelum sambutan ada orang mau membelilah. So aku okay, this works. So it's never about wanting to become rich atau you are just a kid kan. You don't see yourself macam in 20 years aku mau jadi jutawan. No. It's just an experience at yang penting. So you see an opportunity, you execute the idea, and then to see it materialize is very fulfilling. Yeah. Sometimes people selalu misinterpret orang go into business and to become rich. Yeah. Tapi to me personally it's about materializing apa yang datang di sini. Dan dilaksanakan dan dapat hasil. Sudah dapat hasil tu wah alhamdulillah. Mana macam yes, achievement unlock. Yeah. So that's the early days lah.
Tapi your inspiration itu datang dari mana? Your parents apa buat business kah?
No, not really. I think like most people, my generation, our parents are working citizens lah, especially working sama government lah, like most people di Brunei. My mother was in the telecom industry. She was with Jabatan Telekom back then, and then Tel Brunei now. Imagine rebranding. And then my father was pegawai penaksir. He was working for Jabatan Bandaran Belait. Yeah. So we didn't have any business background, but I think it's just something that comes naturally lah.
Selepas itu ada notice enggak macam barangkali aku boleh buat business ni. After that ada.
You mean after masa sekolah agama tu?
Masa.
Nah, tu it's just
pun belum
tu. It's nothing solid lah. It's just an experimental itu saja.
Tapi do you remember bila masanya macam for sure 100% aku mau buat business. Ada.
Okay. I think this okay, let's go through the phase of education lah. I think my first exposure to business formally was di sekolah menengah. Okay. Not being involved sama business days atau program seperti ini, but exposure to the subject of commerce. Yeah, I think there was form 3 atau form 4 lah. So apa commerce ni? Okay, commerce you belajar pasal kedai runcit and then department stores. What are the pros and cons, and then apa Sdn Bhd, apa sole proprietorship. But it didn't make sense to me lah. To me, it's just a subject. Okay, and then masuk ke sixth form. One of my subjects was management of business. I took that juga. But to me, it's just formality lah. It's just a subject, not to build the future. Okay, then masuk ke UBD. I took up degree in Bachelor of Business Administration. Also not because I want to do business. It's just because I just want to have a degree lah, which is marketable. So to me, business administration is in a good demand lah for any position in the office environment. Okay, but before I graduated, I think that was the moment macam it clicked. Okay, I noticed di Brunei, I think this is already the normal stereotype lah from the society. Macam when you graduate, you either work for the government. Of course, that's the top choice lah for most people lah. And then or even better, why don't you go into kerja sama BSP or gajinya besar atau itu? Okay lah. So I already see that you have the government, you have BSP. BSP of course falls under the category of private sector. Okay. But private sector, there are two sides to it kan, yang the high paying job sama the medium paying jobs. So to me, indahkan dua ni saja option di Brunei ni kan. So from that point, why don't people look at business atau entrepreneurship as a third choice? To me, it's also a career. But the flavor for people doing business back then, belum berapa lah. I think people are still pressured by the expectation of society to either work for the government atau private sector. But of course, sudah kerja private sector, hanya apply to kerjaan. That's normal lah. That's I think our parents pun for good reasons je lah. I think dorang punya generation memang macam tu lah the journey. But that was the moment that I noticed the third choice ni is actually practical and doable Why don't people look into this? So I think around that I was around early 20s, and then before I graduated okay, I want to set myself I want to start business by the age of 25 ni ko, if I can. But I have no idea what type of business I wanted to venture in kan. And then I end up working lah, working blah 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 blah. Dan juga maybe umurku 30 lah. Lagi maybe umurku 35 lah or something. Sampai I think early 40s lah. I think before aku enter 40 tu pun aku okay lah.
It's time.
40 is the maybe just the right age for me to I'm not young yang ku. I'm also not old. I'm just nice in between yang ku. Yeah. Ada enough experience but not too much. There's still room to develop lagi. So yang ku, yeah, why not? And alhamdulillah stumble across at real estate. Ani pun if you ask me kalau time di uni pun I don't see myself doing real estate. Not even 5 years ago. And if my 4th year kan, if you ask me 5 years ago, I was gonna do real estate, never crossed my mind. This is just something that comes up with like a aha moment lah. Yeah, so I think I'm the kind of person kalau ada aha moment atau I like to explore the possibility, and I don't procrastinate too long on it lah. And then you just need to execute try it out. Start with small steps tu lah.
Kirakan kebanyakan di Brunei menarget kerajaan.
Yeah.
Tapi you started yang swasta dulu kah ataupun kerajaan dulu?
Yeah. So this is a really defining moment dulu masa di uni. I think it was the third year. Third year kami kena encourage ambil work attachment program untuk part of our units lah. And then aku coming from orang KB, so aku tinggal di hostel lah all these years. Sekarang aku kalau time semester break ni di hostel, aku dapat work attachment di bandara ni, aku berbelanja lagi ni, beli minyak. So aku made a conscious decision yang aku I'm just gonna drop the work attachment. I just get extra subject saja to accommodate the units. So yang aku might as well aku cari part-time job ni aku. Yeah, part-time job. So artinya in that split moment I made a decision. Yeah. Making decision is not easy for most people, but it's really powerful. So I learned it early on sana. Aku cari part-time job. So the source back then social media belum berapa kuat as macam masa ni lah. So aku buka Borneo Bulletin lah. Aku apply sana sini. So eventually QAF ada offer. Aku offer 2 positions lah yang aku apply. One was as supermarket supervisor ke apakah, I can't remember lah, di Golden Chick. And then the other one was a sports reporter di Borneo Bulletin. So aku okay lah, I come lah. Aku attend the interview, and then the chief editor was there, the general manager, ramai lah. Sekiranya we offering you 2 positions, and which one would be of interest to you? Sekiranya aku since aku back then andang minat main bola, really into sports, aku aku cuba tu lah. I opt for sports reporter. Aku I think I can do this. Sekiranya dorang, okay, so how much are you expecting the salary? Okay, aku being a student dapat allowance 300 di mediator aku, wow, it's good enough But of course aku 300, okay lah, I can settle for 300 ya. So artinya 600 kan tu. Aku begitulah. I'm okay with 300. Okay, for part-timernya we offering you 600. Aku macam wow. Alhamdulillah, I didn't expect this. Aku okay. So so I started the job sama Brunei Press lah. Brunei Press Berhad as a sports reporter. If you macam Google back my name, then Denny Abu Basrah kah. So ada tu, there's still some articles on the internet. So it was a really good experience lah working di sana. So I was working while studying, and then the beauty about working the Brunei Press as a journalist, especially sports. Sports don't normally happen during the day kan. Not even during working days. So normally it's either patang atau malam atau all over the weekend. So it doesn't coincide sama aku punya study di campus. So it's just nice. Alhamdulillah lah. Macam it complements each other. So yeah, I got what I wanted lah. A part-time job regardless berapa pay-nya. But the extra pay to me is
bonus lah.
It's a bonus lah.
I would assume lepas habis your UBD, terus ke kerajaan ataupun macam mana?
No. After UBD, I was still working sama Brunei Press. Okay, back to the Brunei Press because I graduated UBD 2005, and then I think I started working with the government 2006, end of the year. So I spent 1.5 years working with Brunei Press lah, which is a good experience because it really developed other skill sets yang I didn't think I had. Okay. Back to being the part-time di Brunei Press, I think 2 months into the job, my sports editornya, I think you're doing quite a good job. I think I want to recommend you for a full-time position di sini. I go, okay. I didn't even ask for it. Macam it's recommended by itulah. Aku just go there, aku buat kerja lah. And then it was a really steep learning curve. Benar-benar aku never pernah menulis kan. Sekali.
Macam mana experience tu?
The first day on the job, ni my chief editor ni orang Sabah ni. First impression he looks really itulah ganas lah. Pusingnya, here, write something, write this. Niku apa ni benda na? Tennis punya score sheet bah. Niku okay, I don't know anything about tennis. Niku I know football, tennis indah, but yeah, give it a go lah. So buatlah saja, whatever makes sense lah. It's really itulah macam belajar sendiri lah. Belajar sendiri. So he noticed kan over the 2 months itu I think he was really impressed with my work ethics lah kali ya. So I'm gonna recommend you and then you local blah blah blah. Aku okay, if you feel I'm ready, it's up to you lah. Bukannya aku minta kan. Kali ya, alhamdulillah dapat. Now all of a sudden macam aku mau 300 saja gaji kerja tu. Dapat 600 mulanya. Sekali now from 600 kena offer 1250. Aku
alhamdulillah.
Okay. So dalam hatiku it all starts with macam decision aku nak buat work attachment pasal aku nak I don't have much money. So might as well I earn money. Sekali from itu alhamdulillah rezeki itu lancar. So from kerja with Brunei Press I create a lot of good networks lah. Macam I cover a lot of football scenes di Brunei. So I got to know people di Brunei di PMMFC. Back then they play locally kan. So from then onwards pun ada business experience moving forward. So but that wasn't during my time di Borneo Bulletin lah. After Borneo Bulletin, I graduated 2005, 2006 I got offered a position di Kementerian Perindustrian Sumber-Sumber Tambang as a project officer. So that's when I transitioned to working with the government. But to be honest, I was happy working with Brunei Press. Okay, the pay was good for me, good enough for me. I mean, after I graduated, dorang naikkan lagi lah. To me, it works for me. Tapi life happens. My late sister was having she had cancer, so I felt like I needed to earn more because I wanted to help the family. Is dorang punya burden kan. So alhamdulillah rezeki datang. So aku move to the government lah. So with the government I spent around 6 years.
6 years. 6 years jo.
Yep.
Sekali selalunya kalau orang sudah dapat kerajaanannya, ia macam forever sampai pincin gitu. Tapi what makes you macam berani untuk aku mau buat something else gitu. What makes you have that guts gitu?
If you jumpa aku masa aku kerja awal-awal di kerajaan atau time di UBD ke apa, aku really a quiet person. I think majority student di Brunei pemalu. Kalau kena suruh bagi presentation mati akal kan pengsan. Ingatku di UBD ada one presentation atau group presentation kan suruh ke depan presentation tu apa script lah. Si sudah kena tanya soalan tu, orang tu lagi English yang lacis-lacis. Aku macam kan pitam rasanya. But this is serious.
Hilang mandai.
Hilangnya aku cuma nak jawab macam wah kenapa aku kena blackoutnya. But I think experience di government itu are really good because di sana you build your character. Okay, di sana ada etika kerja kan, macam about your discipline, your amanah kerja, bla bla itu ini semualah yang really good values. And then masa di government itu pun aku ada opportunity to attend kursus di luar negeri sama locally. So macam masa aku kursus di KL for 1 month di Intan namanya, that institute. So yang hadirannya peserta dari Rwanda, Bolivia, Peru, macam-macam negeri lah. sekali aku notice, dorang punya English pacah ke
Yep,
enggak,
yep.
it doesn't bother them.
Yep.
Okay, nyaku yang penting orang faham.
Yes.
Okay, not saying aku punya English not good. English di Brunei ni generally bagus, tapi orang takut kan cakap, saya takut salah kan.
No.
Kali it gives me a different mindset lah. Balik dari sana nyaku, so what nyaku? Aku punya English speaking London kah, do I speak British kah atau American?
Yang penting
Yang
mindset.
penting orang faham. You get the message across nyaku.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, and then aku attend one of the best courses lah yang aku attend di sini masa government di IPA. It's called the 7 Innovation Tools. You punya guru dari Malaysia lah tu time tu. That's a creative session lah. Macam one of the exercise, kami semua duduk kan tu. Sekalinya di sini aku ada RM10 nya. I'm kena simpan di sini nya. Siapa mau?
Uish, ada je tu.
Siapa maunya? Aku macam, okay. So aku mau, aku dirilah saja, aku ambil. So I got it. Yeah, that's the way to do it. If you want something, you go out and get it. Macam kita ni, we think there's the rule, macam angkat tangan lah. No, sometimes you just need to do it your way.
Yeah.
So from that class, he noticed macam there's a different side of me lah. I think you have potential. Maybe one day, I think you'll become like a top management, maybe a minister. Aku ridiculous aku. I don't see myself becoming a minister because masa mula-mula masuk kerajaan, aku punya focus was never to become SUT ke atau apa itu. I don't see myself sampai that level bah. I don't see myself retiring di one organisation saja. So there's more to this. But I see myself progressing cepat. So to me, that's a motivational factor lah. If I can naik dari group division 2 ke division 3 progression dalam masa yang ini ditetapkan, to me is an already an achievement. Okay. Sekali after a few years aku apply for progression di other ministries. And at the same time I think I think lah I felt I did well kerja with the government. I was the head of admin units, finance unit. I also do perbelanjaan punya kertas kerja. Also was the secretary to tender board. Aku kira all rounder lah for administrative. Aku I wanna experience kerja in another ministry or more exciting kerja in a multinational punya environment sama orang luar lah. I want to test myself. I want to see whether I can deliver je. I want to see whether I can blend in. Not just macam, I'm not saying aku sudah pick the government. Tapi I want to feel in a different environment lagi lah.
More challenges lah.
Yeah. So alhamdulillah, I got offered jawatan pegawai tugas khas di Kementerian Kesihatan. And I got offered a position as supply chain executive je di Brunei Shell. Kini aku, dua-dua of course Brunei Shell pay extra lah, better lah. But money is still money. But to me, the deciding factor aku pindah ke Brunei Shell back then was because satu aku boleh balik ke Bled. It's like balik kampung lah.
Masa tu apa menyewa di bandar?
Enggak, aku tinggal di bandar lah, kerajaan. So around 10 years aku stay di bandar. So aku mau balik Bled. Okay, secondly, aku boleh main bola dia. Yeah, because all my childhood friends di sana kan, easy to play football bah. Leisurely lah. So kalau di bandar ni, payah akan jumpa orang play leisurely. Habis-habis match saja, match ni. Okay lah. So football was a big driving factor for me back then. So yeah, balik KB lah, main bola. Yeah, that's the story of my journey lah. I mean, for every career move, you have to see beyond the salary package lah. What is it in for you? Macam for me, I want to test myself working sama orang antarabangsa. And of course, lepas kerja ngalih-ngalih, main bola. To me, it's a perfect formula. Yeah. And then also at the same time, with the extra pay, I can start doing business lain lah, side business. Yang ada extra duit lah. Yeah, that was the intention lah. Yeah.
Aku berlain-lain mata aku masa ni. Pasal bukan saja pasal aku nak ada kacamata. Tapi dia punya journey ni macam mana? Kira kan masa ada kita ni pernah ada conversation di RI office dulu. Minggu if only if aku mau satu mentor di Brunei, I want it to be you. Pasal kira kan the mindset is quite similar. Sekali sudah dengar cerita ni, mati. Sama benar. Sekali tadi kan cerita pasal how your business journey started. Pasal ni. Tapi kita ni kan berehat dulu. Dan ni jumpa di part 2. Alright, see you.